choice is really tough, and I've been in this situation so many times, so here's what I would do. It definitely depends on the person that's telling you. For me, it was my family and an ex. And I want to say it's because they didn't want to take responsibility for my emotions and my reactions. And also feel kind of gaslighting because it's like, but you did that. But I've learned in my healing process that I am the only one that's responsible for my emotions. And if someone is consistently affecting me in a negative way, I just remove them. But if you want to have a conversation, try not to be like, you made me feel this way, because that's where it becomes argumentative and defensive. Maybe say something like, when I hear this is how it makes me feel. 5 science-based tools to help you sleep better at night. Number 1 is to listen to frequency music to put your brain waves into a sleep state. My favorites are 528 Hz, 639 Hz, and delta frequency. Number 2 is to take a hot shower or bath before bed because it actually forces your body to release heat, which is necessary for falling asleep. 3 is for my overthinkers, keep a notepad beside your bed. So if you have something looping, you can just write it down and forget about it till the morning. 4, do not get in your bed unless you are going to sleep. Your brain will learn to associate your bed with sleep and make it easier to fall asleep. 5, no overhead lighting before bed. Your eyes pay attention to the light angle, and overhead lighting mimics daylight, so your body will just be confused. This is honestly a great question because it is not always a good thing to change your DNA. So in the first situation, your DNA is coiled tight, which causes the gene to be inactive because the DNA can't be read. And this could be a good or a bad thing because you could have genes for cancer that aren't being read, which would be great, or you could have genes that promote good health that aren't being read either, and that would be bad. And in the second situation, the DNA is coiled loose, so the gene is active because the DNA can be read. And this could be good or bad as well because you could have genes for cancer that are now being expressed, which would be bad, or you could have genes that promote your health that would be good. It all depends on what's driving this change in DNA and the environment. So I'm actually a neuroscientist with ADHD, so I'm gonna give you my 3 main tips. Number 1 is to stay hella hydrated because when your bladder is full and starts to stretch, epinephrine and adrenaline are released in your brain and you become more alert. Number 2 is to listen to 40 Hz binaural beats or alpha wave frequency music. The last video I posted actually explains why that works. Numero 3 is to do what's called a brain dump. Basically, you just write down everything that's on your mind, everything that you're thinking about, anything that could possibly pop into your mind while you're doing your work. You write all that down before you start. The point is to get it all off your mind so you'll be less distracted while you're working. You got this. Here are 5 science-based tools you can use to get better sleep at night. Number 1 is called a brain dump. You just write down everything that's on your mind before you get into bed, and you'll be less likely to overthink while you're falling asleep. Number 2 is to listen to sleep hypnosis or frequency music. My personal favorites are 528 Hz, 639 Hz, and anything in the delta frequency range. Number 3 is to get sunlight in your eyes in the morning because that sets a biological clock for melatonin release at night. Number 4 is no overhead lights before bed because overhead light mimics daylight and your body will just be confused. And number 5, do not spend any time in your bed unless you are going to sleep. Dreaming is actually your brain replaying what you've thought about or what you've experienced throughout the day. So if you've ever heard that you need to sleep before an exam, it's 100% true because your brain actually replays everything that you've learned while you're sleeping. We just learned about a study where they measured rats' neural activity while they were learning a behavior, and then they measured it again while they were sleeping, and they saw the same exact firing pattern while they were learning it as when they were sleeping, and that firing pattern wasn't there before they learned it. So it just goes to show that your brain needs sleep to reconsolidate memory. Reality versus imagination in the brain and how you can change your reality with imagination. In a study, they measured brainwave activity of people that were imagining performing a task and when they were actually performing the task. And you can see that the shape of the waveform is almost exactly the same. These are pain and sensory neurons, and they go to your spinal cord and then up to your brain to tell your brain how you're feeling. But your brain has the badass ability of sending a neuron down to the spinal cord that can stop sensory information from coming up to the brain, meaning that you can either stop or enhance your senses with your mind. These are the different frequencies you can listen to that have been scientifically proven to reduce pain. 174 Hz is literally so effective that patients in surgery needed less anesthesia. A study showed that listening to 40 Hz decreased pain in patients with fibromyalgia. 528 Hz has been shown to decrease stress hormones and increase oxytocin, which promotes healing. And this isn't sound therapy, but research at my university showed that green light exposure decreases pain intensity by 60%. So you might want to look into that too. Quick little tip for all my people that tell me they can't meditate. And this is something that's really helped me because a lot of times I'm thinking about what I need to do afterward and I'm trying to like rush through it. But also, I think something really important to know is that the point of meditation is not to sit and have a completely clear mind. The point is to sit and observe your thoughts so that you can get better at controlling your mind over time. But anyway, something that I tell myself before I start is there is nothing more important than what I'm doing right now. Because there isn't. Exposing yourself to a cue that's been previously tied to doing drugs like smelling cigarettes or going to the location that you always used to smoke. If you're doing that without actually doing the drug, you're actually doing what's called extinction training. You're not necessarily curing your addiction, but you're creating a new memory that will compete with the old one. And it's actually your memory of those cues that causes dopamine to be released and triggers craving. But the more you expose yourself to those cues, you'll get less dopamine release and then less craving over time. This is the best way to target your subconscious mind and move towards your goals every single day. So get up in the morning, do whatever mind-clearing meditation activity that you do, then sit down in front of a piece of paper and think about what you're going to be doing throughout your day. Then think about what you want to get out of what you're doing throughout your day. Then write 5 intentions for what you want to get out of your day as if you're doing them right now. This has been working like magic for me. It'll keep you on track towards your goals and becoming your best self. You have to see the sun at a low solar angle every single day because every cell in your body has a 24-hour clock. Your cells don't know what time of day it is unless you view the sunrise or the sunset. When you do that, every cell in your body is notified and you get healthy hormone release, especially in the morning because it also sets a biological clock for melatonin release that'll help you sleep better at night, and a massive release of dopamine from looking at the sun. If you don't do this, a pro-depressive pathway is activated and you are at way higher risk for anxiety and depression, so please. Exercise is magical for your brain and cognitive performance, and here's why. First, exercise increases dopamine, which will keep you energized and motivated throughout the rest of your day. 2, exercise increases a neurotransmitter called acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is released when your muscles flex, but it's also responsible for increasing focus. 3, exercise increases neuroplasticity, which improves your memory and learning capabilities. And 4, exercise decreases stress receptors in the brain. This is how practicing gratitude can change the way your DNA is read and the genes that are expressed. So it's a well-known fact that serotonin is increased in our brain when we practice gratitude. And serotonin makes you feel happy, safe, warm, comfortable. But what we did not know is that serotonin has the ability to go into the nucleus of our cells and alter the formation of our DNA. And this alteration results in enhanced gene transcription. So practice gratitude and change your body and your life. Here's 2 scientifically proven ways to enhance focus while using music. If you want to be more awake and focused, you want to target the gamma state of your brain because that helps you increase alertness. And a study showed that 40 Hz binaural beats help people learn and perform tasks better. And if you really want to dive deep into a more flow state in your work, you can target the alpha frequency. And that one's a lot smaller of a range, so if you just YouTube alpha wave frequency for focus, it'll come up. Personally, I listen to alpha waves when I read science papers, so how you think in your mindset on a day-to-day basis changes how your DNA is read and which genes are expressed. And here's how. So when you have a thought, neurons fire, and when you keep thinking the same thing, the same neurons keep firing. And just like a muscle, when you use the same neurons, those neurons get stronger. And when neurons get stronger, molecular changes start happening. And these changes cause your DNA to get coiled tighter so the gene can't be read, or looser so the gene can be read. If you want to increase your focus or your alertness when you're trying to do things, then you need to listen to this. Because we have neurons that run from our bladder to our brain, and they become more activated as our bladder starts to stretch. And when that happens, you see an increase in activity in the area of the brain called the locus ceruleus. And that part of the brain synthesizes norepinephrine and noradrenaline, which causes you to be more alert and more focused. So moral of the story is just to stay hella hydrated. Untold secret about dopamine is that dopamine doesn't want you to be happy. Dopamine wants you to go. It is the motivational neurotransmitter. It's released in your brain in the pursuit of your goals, but not so much after you achieve your goals. And so if you are waiting to be happy till after you get something or you achieve something, just know you're never really gonna be happy because that is the power of dopamine. Untold secret about vision is that we don't actually see the world in front of us. Our eyes take in light signals, and then those light signals travel through all of these brain areas. And our senses, emotions, memories, conscious desires, and thoughts are all integrated. And then an image is put together by our brain. Our mind decides what we see, not our eyes. It's not that what we're seeing isn't real, because light signals still have to come in for an image to be perceived by your brain. But our brains are prediction machines. That's why you can look at half of an image and already know what the picture is because your brain predicts what isn't there. And so your brain is adding or subtracting things from what you see all the time. This is a huge anxiety hack, because when we look at sunsets, we activate panoramic vision. Panoramic vision turns off the fight or flight response and activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which immediately decreases stress and anxiety levels by decreasing your heart rate, your blood pressure, and stress hormones. This is a big reason behind claustrophobia, because you literally can't do panoramic vision.